welcome to the third episode of the
Zalemma. Hello.
We're in like a very fancy podcast studio for this episode, so that's why we might sound a little different. I don't know.
If we sound better or worse.
Or worse.
I don't know, because,
now
that's a possibility.
Every crack in my voice. So
anyway,
it's been a long day.
It's been a long day. Actually, I've done nothing today. I rotted today.
And that's a lot of work.
I love bed rotting, but yeah, no, it is sometimes a lot of work. But okay, I'm sorry. How was your week?
My week was good. Really busy. I started a new job about 2 weeks ago, and I got my first project this past week.
Ooh,
so
exciting.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I really like the people. Great work environment. So good week for me, but because I've been adjusting so much to like work life and my new like company, I've just kind of haven't really done much else, honestly.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yesterday I went to a St. Patrick's Day party though, and that was really fun.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. What about you? How was your week?
My week, this week felt so long.
It really did.
Partly because, I work hybrid. I worked one less day in office, but that's only because I was doing a social media boot camp for my job. And it's cool because I do social media stuff at work. Yeah,
that's awesome. Did you learn anything cool?
No.
Well, that's good too.
My week was good. I went to a training, and that's pretty much the major thing. And then just like the projects that I'd been working on, a couple I used my degree. I dabbled in design.
Ooh, yeah. I got to use my degree.
Anyone could do it. We use Canva. But
hot take, I do feel like Canva is a good design tool.
I love Canva. Have you ever done the thing where you imagine you're prepping for an interview and you imagine the questions that they ask you and have an answer?
Yeah.
And because I was looking into different this is when I think I was like trying to break into UX design.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tool or favorite product? Actually, maybe it was product management. I don't know, whatever. What's your favorite product? And I was doing like a physical product and a digital product. And my go-to answer would be like Canva, because I love Canva. Like I like it more than like the Adobe Suite, because I think it's more intuitive than Adobe Suite. But
no, I totally agree. I think there's just such a high barrier to entry for the Adobe Suite, and I think it sucks for people who are just casual users or want to create like a poster here or there.
For sure.
To pay as much as Adobe is charging.
Yeah.
And then I'm glad that there is a design tool for social media creators, because honestly, as a designer, like I feel like it's a lot of work to also have like marketing people coming to you and asking you to design things on Photoshop. Right. They have a tool that it can look good really quickly, and they can quickly generate content. I think it has like its place, and I think it's a good tool. But we're getting off topic. I'm design nerding right now. Anyway.
Getting back on topic.
If y'all are still with us.
If you're still with us. So yeah, that's how our weeks went. And so this past Sunday, we just sprang forward into an extra hour or so of sunlight. So
yeah, thank God.
I know, because it was starting to get to me.
It was getting rough, guys.
Yeah. So we're talking about moving away from, seasonal depression.
Thank God. I feel it leaving my body. Like today it was 70 degrees and it was raining, but it felt so good to go outside in like tank top and shorts.
Oh no, for sure. Yesterday it was like 6 something, and I was like, it was still bright outside, and I was like, oh, this is like good for my soul, like chicken soup for the soul.
Chicken soup for the soul, yeah.
Definitely like especially in the winter time when it gets dark really early, and when I have less things to do, or if I'm like busy if there are different like factors, I guess maybe in like in the lull of, I don't know, like in the winter months of like the holiday season, and I just like don't have like plans with people, and I just like spend my Friday nights and Saturday nights like alone. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know, not necessarily isolated, but what is it what is it when you call like a self-inflicted isolation? What is it? What's another term for like self-inflicted? But whatever that's
self-induced.
There's a specific word. Maybe it starts with a P, or maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. But
I don't know. I feel like there probably is a word, and I'm just not literate enough.
yeah.
But I know what you're saying, though. I think in the wintertime, things can seem worse than they actually are just because no one's doing anything. No one's going outside. There's not really a lot of events outside of, like, going to bars or something. Maybe some holiday events around the holidays. But I think the roughest months for me, personally, seasonal depression-wise, is probably January through early March.
I thought you were going to say, like, October to January. I was like, girl, that's a whole season.
Well, okay, but I actually like October, like, November and December, because October is Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. And then, like, December, there's all the, like, Christmas lights and a lot of, like, holiday cheer. But after New Year's, it's sort of like, oh, okay.
I actually agree with you and similar to that, but mine's more so maybe like the last 2 weeks of January into March, and when it goes into the spring after Phil decides. What is his name? It's
Pentatonix.
I was going to say Pentatonix, but
Pentatonix Phil.
But
I have no idea.
His name is Phil, and he has a family. And
he has a family?
I did a deep dive into Phil recently, and it's not even, like, and I know it's getting off topic, but I just have to talk about it.
Talk about Phil.
So apparently Phil, not really, is 130 years old or something. I saw this TikTok, and they were like, I wonder if the groundhog's gonna see his shadow. I was like, I don't care if he sees God. Oh, that was loud. But it's like it's not his fault. Stop blaming Phil. Like it's just leave Phil alone. But yeah, no, I did a deep dive, and some people have actually, I talked to people about it, and they have strong feelings about Phil. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know. And then they found out that he has a wife and children. So.
He has a wife and children.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. Leave him and his family alone.
Yeah. Moving on. Sorry. Seasonal depression.
Quick intermission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to think what things I do to try to offset seasonal depression during those months.
Hang out with friends.
I mean, hang out with friends, but also
for yourself, like more so things you can do yourself instead of like relying on other people.
Yeah, and also the thing about, hanging out with friends and stuff is like, that's obviously you still do that in the winter, right. But I feel like there's less activities for y'all to go and do.
Yeah.
So I do
that
think
involved that are like, less around spending money.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I just feel like I do see people less in the winter because usually when you're texting people after work or whatever, like, they're like, I don't know, it's like 30 degrees out and there's like thing going on. Yeah. So I think I'm just going to chill at home.
Because during the spring, summer, you can go to the beach and that like, you just like, you're driving and paying for gas and you can do it on the low. Mm-hmm. So
totally agree. And I think something that has helped me is to have things to look forward to. And just make sure that your surroundings are really, like, nice and calming and try to just make it, like, a cozy season, if that makes sense. So, like, I try to make my apartment feel very cozy, very clean, lots of candles, have a list of shows I want to watch, movies.
Yeah.
For when I, want to sit down and rot, as you were doing earlier.
I play Xbox more in the wintertime, too. So.
And I need to get into that as well. I have a Switch, and I really like the Switch because they have so many fun, like, cozy games. Yeah. I am right now playing Stardew Valley, which is
oh my god,
fun.
I love Stardew Valley.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we gotta talk later. But
I have like a bunch of farms. I have like at least 4 farms.
I just started my first farm, and it's actually really hard.
Yeah.
Not as calming as I thought.
Which farm? It depends on the farm that you choose.
River one or something?
I don't think that was like the hardest one, but I just did like the standard one. But going back to what you were talking about, like that is so true. Like having things that like preset things of like things that you want to do and focus on, and then just having your space being cozy, I think is like very helpful and beneficial. And what I want to do in the future is like definitely like host things, and because I don't want to, again, trying to 1, save money, and 2, be inside and not in the cold, because there are so many cute, fun winter and fall activities that you can do. Also, I went, the winery that, have we been there together?
The one outside?
Yeah. Okay. Then that winery, the red sparkling wine there, that is like $30 a bottle, bought it at Total Wine for $8.
Really?
It's crazy. And I told my mom, and she was like, you're paying for the ambiance. You're paying for the experience. And I'm like, you're the one that tells me to save money all the time. What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
I agree with you. I really want to get more into like hosting and dinner parties and all of this fun adult stuff.
Well,
like once every 2 weeks or
yeah.
something. And I feel like if it's a set thing on maybe a certain day, or at least you send out an invite a few weeks in advance, people will have something to look forward to. Right. Like, oh, I'm going to go and have this fun gathering with my friends, and we're going to have good food and wine. And I feel like it would just be a really good time.
Sometimes for me, well, actually, it depends on the day. In certain situations, it's a double-edged sword for me because I have, and I told you this, I have the Sunday scaries all the time.
Yes.
And today is Sunday, if people were wondering.
What does Sunday scaries entail for you? What is that?
For me, so for today, I think it's like sometimes I have mental blocks where this thing is like looming over me where I have to go do this thing and I plan on going to do this thing, but I have nothing to do and I'm just like thinking about it and I'm trying to do other things. Maybe that's ADHD. I think that
I was like, I think maybe so.
I think that's just ADHD.
We have like a running gag. So I have ADHD and Gigi suspects that she does.
I don't suspect that I do. I
can personally diagnose you.
Okay. So that's what it was. So I was telling JJ this story. My friend was like, no, for people like us that have ADHD. And I was like, what? She's like, oh, I don't know if you like actually been diagnosed, but you have some of the qualities. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I told this story to JJ and she was like, oh yeah, no, when we first met, I was thinking, oh yeah, this girl has ADHD.
No, I clocked it. I was like, this girl has ADHD. I didn't say it, but I was like, fellow ADHDer. But I love it.
I've never gone to the doctor and I don't know who diagnoses it, but I've been to like therapy and stuff like that. I don't know, like, or a psychologist and
I remember when I got diagnosed. I got diagnosed in like 5th grade.
Okay.
And I had to go to this like special like diagnosing center where I got kept for a day. And they did all these tests and they asked me all these questions and I had to go back to school after that and like mark down how many times I would zone out during class or something. And let me tell you, there were a lot of marks on that paper. And so I guess I fit whatever criteria they threw at me and they were like, yeah, this
what was the
ADHD.
catalyst for you going to the place to get diagnosed? Were you just like, is like being in class or not paying attention or being talkative?
I think it was more, I don't know. I know that my mom sent me. I don't think I was like cognizant enough at that point to really understand. I think it was more academic because I wasn't focusing on subjects that I didn't care about, and so I was suffering more in those subjects but really excelling in other subjects. So my mom was kind of like, what's going on here? There's a disconnect in these subjects, but then she's excelling in these other subjects that she's actually interested in.
Gotcha.
So it would be the sort of thing where like people with ADHD, they hyper focus on something that they're interested in, but they like can't focus on whatever they're not interested in. So that's kind of what the reason for that ended up being, obviously, after I got diagnosed. So
when I was struggling in subjects, because I, as you know, like I have an older brother and he is ridiculously smart. Like one time we moved and he was in the regular class for maybe like a month and they figured out, oh no, we need to put him in like the advanced class. Because he's a talker. And so he would get done with his work. Other people were not done with their work and he would just talk to them. And I was like, oh, he's a great student, but he just likes to talk. So he would excel in like most of his all of his work, and then he was like reading several reading levels above, and I was like slightly above average, but
you're above average.
Aw, thank you. And my parents' solution was actually just to send me to tutoring. So I did tutoring. It wasn't like a going to get evaluated because they did an IQ test. And like, oh, she has a high IQ, but she's just like, so maybe they should have put 2 and 2 together.
I'm surprised they didn't do that because that was something they did for me too. As part of the like, diagnosis. So. Yeah.
It was actually because I don't know what it actually is, but my parents were like, oh yeah, you constantly do this thing where you look at the beginning of the word, you don't look at the rest of the word, and you just assume what the rest of the word is.
Like if it's not affecting you really, like if you're not doing poorly due to your symptoms, I feel like there's no reason to go on medication or anything. So. Yeah.
Well, they sent me to tutoring, so I did school, and then I would go to tutoring on like several days of the week, and then like I think it was like 3rd, 4th grade, and then I think my parents like, oh yeah, you begged us to stop. And then I think they finally allowed me to stop when we did the benchmark testings, and I had paired classrooms, and for math or for one of them I was the highest between the 2 classes. So they were like, oh okay, she's fine. And then And then middle school was like meh, was fine. And then high school, I was like in the AIG or whatever. Yeah. So I think they were just like, just it's okay. she's okay.
She's good.
She's fine.
Yeah.
She's fine. So
that's awesome.
So, but yeah, going back to my Sunday scaries. Tangent. But
tangent time.
Yeah. I think for me, it's weird because I never used to be like this, because when I was more so, because I went from kind of hybrid work to more hybrid work, because initially I was going to the office 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And then it switched to 3. And then I had no issue. Like, I mean, sometimes it would obviously, I would just get over it because it was required of me to go into the office. So I was like, oh yeah, I have to go in on Monday, so it's fine. And then when I had to go in 3 days, I chose to do Monday and Friday to have like the extended weekend. And it just like helped me. I don't know if I always had the Sunday scaries, or I just got used to not going in on Monday, but I did a switch. I don't know why I did the switch. Oh, but I was like, oh, let me just do Monday through Wednesday and work remote Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend. But and I would just like have this like anxiety of like, oh my God, I need to go to work the next day. There's so much stuff that I need to do or that I have to get done before I go into work, because I won't be at my apartment to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
And also I think that's just like a reoccurring theme of my apartment's disorganized. Does it make sense? No.
I agree. I think, yeah, I don't think I really get the Sunday scaries.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's all in my head.
I mean, like, I know that a lot of people have, like, they're obviously, like, the term Sunday scaries, like, a lot of people have this, but I sort of am just kind of like, well, that was fun. I don't know. I think it helps that I work from home Monday, Friday, like you were saying. And I don't necessarily have to go in on Monday, so I feel a little bit less stressed about having to wake up early, having all my stuff together. I'm like, I can just do it Monday.
Right.
So I think that helps a lot. Hybrid work for the win on that
Have
one.
you ever had a job where you went in on a Monday?
I did not, actually.
Okay.
So I've always worked either hybrid or remote. And my first job was also hybrid, and we had to go in Tuesday, Thursday, which I think is pretty standard. Like, I think a lot of companies do Tuesday, Thursday. So no, I've never actually had to go in on Monday, so that probably contributes to me not having Sunday scaries.
I think it was also when I was like in like grade school, because like in college it was different, because you would go to classes and it would not necessarily like the first thing in the morning, and you're not going to be on campus all day and stuff like that.
You built your schedule, basically, yeah.
So I think it's crazy, because it was like, yeah, I had it in grade school, and then maybe more so when I was like older in high school that it was like that, and then more so recently. But I specifically on Sundays, when it's like I have something to do in the evening and I don't have anything to do during the day, and it's this thing looming over me that I'm like, I have to do this, and it gives me a little bit of anxiety. I'm like, just like building it up in my head, regardless of what the activity is or who it's with, like I said before. But how do I solve that? I don't know. Actually, this podcast is not about solving problems. It's just
about living in them.
Yeah.
For me, something that helps me is to. I do remember having the Sunday scaries like in elementary through high school, and I think it's good to try to have a set time period on Sunday where you unwind. So like what I do now, actually every single day, is I have an automatic do not disturb that I set my phone on.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so at 9 p.m. my phone automatically goes on do not disturb, and I'm not disturbed.
Oh, that's good.
I find it really nice to just have your phone automatically become silent. You're not necessarily checking notifications, and notifications aren't coming through unless you're actively seeking them out. And I just sort of relax and watch TV or read my book and go to bed, and it's really helped me.
No, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I might try that. 2 things with that. 1, when I see people have their specific people do not disturb, and it says, oh, your message was delivered quietly, I press that. I press that delivered.
I will do that too, but it depends.
It depends on who it is.
It also depends on the context.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have a couple of friends who are on do not disturb all the time.
Yeah.
And we'll be making plans and literally about to meet up, and it'll be like, this message was delivered quietly. And I'll be like, nah, we are about to try. I need to figure this out before we meet up. And I'll just be like, bam. So I liked that sound effect, even though that was unintentional.
I mean,
blow her phone up.
I feel like I need to set that do not disturb. But like what you were saying, I want to definitely have a reset routine, because sometimes I do the Sunday resets where I like Sundays or Saturdays to go to the grocery store and go to like a further. Trader Joe's is far from us. So, well, far from me. I don't know how far it is from you.
Like 10 minutes.
Okay, then
kind of a trek.
Well, it's like 20 minutes for me, so I'm like, it's a plan that I have to do, because it's like in the next town over. So I'll do that, and I'll go to a different store, like Wegmans is near that one too.
Yeah.
So I'll go to there and maybe get flowers and just like try and like clean my apartment. But I definitely want to try and do that throughout the week. And also one thing that I think that would probably help even more in combating like the seasonal depression is making plans after work, because especially when I first started working after grad school, I would go to work, I would come back, either I would like cook something or I would buy food, and that would just be my night. But sometimes I love impromptu things.
Yeah.
I like
Me too, yeah.
spur of the moment, oh, let's do something. I mean, I know we go to a same like workout class together, and then we sometimes get food afterwards, but the workout class is less rigid set thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it helps me that I work throughout the day where it's like, oh, like I'm not thinking about doing that. I have to do that during the day.
I do think that like maintaining spontaneity in your life is important.
I love, yeah.
I think never be afraid to be like, hey, who does anyone want to like go do this with me right now? I love that. I'm that type of person as well. I love when I get texted like, what are you doing right now? Because if I'm not doing anything, it's just so exciting and fun to like go run off and do something. And I think it's important to, I don't know, keep that magic alive in your life, because I feel like we did that all the time in college and we did it a lot in high school.
Right.
And I just feel like as you get into your adult routines are really important, and they really do help maintain a sense of sanity. But like keeping that spark of like what am I going to do today? What is this day going to bring is important. And I think that, you know, having those impromptu plans is definitely part of that.
I like that. Yeah. I agree. That is very insightful.
You know, just your daily piece of wisdom.
But, I think we were playing footsies for a second.
We were playing footsies for a second. I was like, what is that?
I was like, oh, and I felt it move, and I was like, oh, that's
just my foot. But yeah, I think all these things are good for, you know, fixing seasonal depression, and not fixing, but like,
combating.
That's a better word. And another thing that just is hard about it is especially people going into an office. You go into the office at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and it's dark. Yeah. And you leave the office at 5 and it's dark. So you never photosynthesize. We're like, we're like plants.
I thought you were about to say go to therapy, and I was like, oh yeah, that's another way.
You're like, well, that works too.
Another way to combat seasonal depression is go to therapy and get medicated. Maybe not necessarily. Medication is not for everyone, you know. I mean, different strokes for different folks.
I do think therapy, even without medication, is really beneficial, and I don't think enough people
talk to someone.
I think it's frowned upon too. Like I feel like so many people are like, oh, I just don't want to do that. Yeah. And it's just like, sometimes it's nice to even just like hear yourself talk and sort out problems on your own that way. I feel like we have so much of our inner monologue like in our head. Right. And that's fine, but I feel like, you know, our heads are very complicated like places. There's like multiple streams of consciousness happening all the time. So it's nice to have almost like a quiet setting for you to talk about a problem that's bothering you. And then, I don't know, I find that, you know, when I talk to someone about a problem, I usually come to like a conclusion or make a realization about the problem that is beneficial to me just by hearing myself say it out loud. Like, wait, there's a solution to this. And you just don't really get that in your head, if that makes sense. So
I think, for sure. And it's like talking through your problems and then like asking like follow-up questions. Yeah. And they're like actually listening to you rather than just like, I mean, obviously, yes, going to therapy, but not just like, they're not your friend, you know, and they're like, they might be able to tell you the hard truths that maybe your friend wouldn't tell you. And they're actually listening and comprehending in order to respond and follow up questions to like, you know,
probing questions.
Yeah, probing. That's the word, probing. Yeah. Probing questions and to help you actually work through problems. And you also feel, I don't know about you, but for me, like, I just feel like I feel a lot better, and I feel like a weight's lifted after like I actually talk out my problems, because for me personally, I just have like a hard time expressing it. Yeah. And in conversations it's different because it's like it's a back and forth thing, but like in this, so I mean, it is a conversation, but it's like more so focused on like your end. No, I totally agree. I think helping
like I love talking to my friends about things and getting their perspective on things, because I'm lucky in that I have a lot of very honest friends who are very real with me, and I really appreciate that because I know what they say to me is real. You know what I mean? So I appreciate their perspective. At the same time, I do think it's important that people note that your friends are not your therapists, and don't use them solely for that. So I think it's nice to have that outside objective source, like you were saying, to go and talk to. And then I think even if someone doesn't want to go see a therapist, like, I feel like a life coach is sort of similar. Like, you can go see a life coach and they can kind of help you sort through some, like, organization or problems. I don't know. Like, I've never been to one.
I neither have I.
When I hear about their job description, I'm kind of like, that sounds kind of like a therapist, sort of. So I feel like, I don't know, there's multiple options to just talk to someone. Even just, like, getting in support groups, like going and talking to other people who aren't necessarily your immediate friend circle, is also, like, another beneficial thing. Like, but I think, you know, moving on from more of, like, the mental health aspect, maybe we can talk about how we balance our social life in the winter with, like, our work life, especially when it getting dark so early and things like that.
When you figure that out, let me know. I'm kidding.
I mean, it's hard. It's something that I'm actively working on. I think maybe I'm less affected by it because I am such a night owl. And I think it's kind of actually maybe a problem as well as a blessing, because I stay up super late just because I feel like those are my hours.
That's called insomnia.
Well, I mean, I think
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Maybe I do have some mild insomnia, but like, I also just don't. I put off going to bed because, like, I procrastinate on it because I'm like, this is my time to do whatever I want. Isn't it like retaliation procrastination or something?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
What is it? Let me look it up.
Gigi's looking this up for us, guys.
Sean.
No pressure.
I know. Typing.
But I tend to do that a lot.
The act of intentionally staying up late or sacrificing sleep to engage in leisure activities that were not possible during the day.
What's it called?
Revenge procrastination.
Revenge procrastination.
But I thought same thing. Retaliation,
same thing,
revenge. But I'm completely joking. I was only saying that because I had insomnia in college. My friend was like, "Oh, if you're up late and you want to talk to someone, talk to Gigi. Call Gigi. She's gonna be up." And I'm like,
yeah,
that's valid.
Is insomnia something that, like, waxes and wanes?
Yeah, for me it did. Less so now, just because I work and I just get really tired.
Yeah. Understandable.
But when I was I think right after I graduated from high school, and like even going into like my junior senior year, but like especially when I graduated from high school, like in between getting ready to go to school and graduating, I would just like be up like my parents' house, like roaming around because I couldn't sleep. And then in college, I had a lot of trouble sleeping. Yeah. I mean, that's also because of like the other factors.
Yeah, no, I think I do have mild insomnia because, like, I definitely go through periods where I have trouble sleeping and I stay up very late all the time. So, you know, seems pretty textbook. Yeah. But yeah. I think what I was getting at was that the darkness doesn't affect me as much. Like, I am the night. But I just think I go out of work and it is kind of depressing that it's dark, but I'm also like, well, I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. anyway, so who cares?
I can't see the darkness from the inside of my apartment. That's
true. So, you know, my apartment's already dark, you know? We're just already living in it. But I do feel the difference when you leave work and it's like and kind of warm.
No, for sure.
And you're like, maybe I'll go grab like some food or some ice cream or something.
Yeah.
So I do think there's a difference. I'm rambling.
Yeah.
But.
No, but I was going to say and I guess maybe not tips, but it's that I hope and plan to do in this upcoming year when it actually
like things you're looking forward to.
Yeah, like for like the actual like fall winter time is like planned spontaneity, which sounds like an oxymoron.
Planned spontaneity.
Which sounds like an oxymoron, but I know what I mean. It's like at least one of these days, Monday through Wednesday, I'll text someone and say like, hey, do you want to grab dinner, grab drinks, something like that, just to do something, like break up the monotony. Yeah. And also, in another life, I would have loved to be like an event planner.
Oh yeah, you would have been good at that.
Yeah, because I love when things and days are like out of the ordinary, like in a good way, not in like a bad way.
Right.
But I love that. And when I change something up or I move something in my apartment or like I switch my routine and stuff like that, or I do something different, I love that. And that helps me, that like that makes me feel renewed, like, ever so slightly. I was gonna say, I think I've said this to people, but I'm like, I'm truly happy for maybe 7 minutes a day, like maybe like 40 like 30-second periods of just true unbridled happiness.
And what brings on those moments of true unbridled happiness? Is there anything you can link to it that you're like specifically doing, or is it just kind of like, damn, I'm really happy right now?
Yeah,
nice.
It's like that.
Yeah.
So
well, that's nice.
Let me backtrack. Maybe I just have a lot of epiphanies.
I was gonna say, maybe you're just like generally happy and you're just realizing it in that moment.
Yeah.
You do seem like a overall like really happy person, which I really like about you. But
really,
I think so. Yeah,
so
like
funny.
You come off that way. I would say, yeah.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I don't know if you truly feel that way.
I mean, like maybe for like around other people, and that's why I'm confused if I'm an introvert or an extrovert, because people say like, oh, and people have different ways of quote unquote diagnosing whether you're an introvert or extrovert, because some people say like, oh, it's how you recharge. Do you recharge being around other people, or do you recharge by yourself? And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like when I have time to myself, but I will say that when I have too much time to myself, I get like in these like, I want to say like funks, and I have a lot of time to myself.
I really think that there's a misnomer though with the whole introvert and extrovert thing. So being an introvert doesn't mean you don't enjoy being around other people.
Right,
It's like introvert and extrovert is only talking about how you get energy.
Yeah.
It's not talking about your demeanor, like if you like seeing people, whatever. It's just about how you recharge, like you were saying. Yeah. So like you can be an introvert and like to go to parties and stuff, but you're just tired after it. You're not like energized.
Right.
So, yeah.
I don't know, because for me it's both sometimes.
Maybe you're an ambivert.
And I've been told that I'm good at compartmentalizing. Like if I'm like going through something and I'm around people, and I'll just like put on like, oh yeah, no, everything's great.
Like maybe there's certain people who just drain you.
I guess. Maybe.
You know, like not everyone's like a cakewalk to be around, so. But yeah, I think that's all good. I don't know. Something I'm looking forward to is
what are you looking forward to, JJ?
Yeah, so something that I like to do is plan trips, or at least like tentatively plan trips.
Ooh.
Into the year, and that's something that helps me get excited, because I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna see some friends, whatever.
That's a good idea. That's a good one.
Yeah, and a trip to Oregon to see some family later
fun.
this year. Yeah, and then to Utah to go to some national parks with a group of friends.
Nice.
And I mean, it's our group of friends, our shared group of friends. So
I know,
you know about the Utah trip. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I was like, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I was like,
yeah. No, we have like a big group of friends that we all met studying abroad while we were in school together. So that's our background and how we know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What about you? Are you planning anything coming up?
I will say that, like what you were saying of planning things, in that sense of like planning activities, I love to do girl core things, like girly pop girl core, that I just love to do. And when I imagine it, it's frilly pink dresses of just like and frolicking. I'm joking.
No, like that sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, and planning like dinner parties and stuff like that. But no, traveling is definitely one thing that I want to do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like to kind of go off of that. I like planning like girly frilly things as well. Like I think it's nice to just kind of have an activity. Like if no one's available, there are good activities to do on your own.
Yeah.
Or even like with friends. Like the other day, one of my friends was like, "Oh, I'm going to get a facial. I'm going to this like fun spa." And
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, it was really fun. And I was kind of like
living your best life. And I was like,
I was
God. Like Pinterest girl like example.
Who is she? No, but like she was like, "I'm gonna go get a facial. Blah blah blah. If you want to like." Co-work together earlier in the day, and I was like, now I'm getting a facial also.
Nice.
And kind of just invited myself, but it was cool. But we had like a whole day, and it was kind of this fun impromptu thing we were talking about, and we just went and co-worked together. We got wine,
nice,
and then we went to the spa, and then after that we went and saw a movie. We saw Monkey. It was really weird.
What is Monkey?
Not to go off on a tangent, but it was a horror movie, and it was more of a comedy, and it started off strong and did weird. I don't know. It's something you'll have to experience on your own if you wish.
Okay.
I can't describe it. I can't describe monkey. But yeah, so doing little girly pop things, like you said, is always a good time. Even just going for a walk.
Right.
Walks are so
Hot
underrated.
girl walks. I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
Hot girl walks.
There's nothing like a walk to clear your head. I don't
Yeah.
know. I once told a friend, and she said she still listens to this advice, that the thing that helps me the most after any sort of like difficult thing like a breakup happens is going for walks and just listening to music and just really just, I don't know, like getting it out. Like, but I don't know. I didn't realize that that was such good advice, but she apparently really enjoys doing that.
I don't know if it's similar, but I like to go for drives and
Same. I spend so much gas on my drives, but sorry not to cut you off.
No, you're good. It's a two-parter. I like to go for drives, and then when I was like living with other people, I would just like to go MIA.
No, I mean, okay, so same. I like to have my side quest time, as I like to call it. Like, I will just disappear for maybe a day or two, and obviously I'm not gonna like not answer people.
I was talking about a couple hours. But
wow.
Well, several hours.
Yeah, several hours. But no, I like to go MIA for like a couple days sometimes.
That reminds me, I was telling someone my favorite pastime is I like to go through a drive-thru and then find a secluded part of the parking lot and eat my food and watch YouTube.
That's actually sounds
But
wonderful.
but if you do that in combination
it's the little
with
things in life.
yes,
Yeah.
Doing that in combination of just like going MIA, like taking a drive, and then eventually one time when I had a roommate and I went to some fast food restaurant. There was one that was like really close, but I was like, oh no, let me go drive out far. And I did that, and then I ate in the parking lot and I felt better. And I'm like, it just like clearing my head. So I mean, going for a walk, going for a drive, stuff like that.
And I think just finding those tiny things that you can easily do that just bring any sort of like joy or relaxation or peace to your day is so important, because there's so many different small things people do that just kind of like relieve them for a second, like going and getting like a little treat, or like I don't know,
treat.
Exactly. a little snack. I don't know, a little
Sweet
coffee
treat.
Like the act of even just like leaving
Caffeine.
your house can be nice. So
I will say that is true. When I am like cooped up in my apartment and then I just like, and I'm like, oh, I just feel like like a ton like stuff weighing down on me, and then I like go outside. Like people say I hate the term touch grass. I hate it. But do you use it a lot?
I have a playlist called Touching Grass, but you know, well, that's neither here nor there.
Like I don't like when people say, oh, you need to go outside and touch grass. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. But
I do think it's kind of funny when someone's crashing out on the internet and someone's like, please go touch some grass. But
yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Like you just like need to go outside and just open up a window or something. Like,
totally.
Like open up the blind, let some light shine in, but
get some fresh air. Yeah. And I think that, I don't know, overall, to kind of, I guess, wrap this up, just find what makes you happy. I know that the winter months can be really tough, but everyone's got small things that make them happy. Reach out to your friends. Like, I feel like I get in ruts sometimes where I feel like I'm annoying to people, and that's the problem that I've always had. And so I won't reach out, and I'll be like expecting and waiting for people to reach out to me, but reach out to your friends. Like, they're probably feeling the same way. Go and do some fun stuff. Be spontaneous, do some impromptu things with your friends or yourself.
Yeah.
And really get comfortable just
self-care.
Being within yourself and
being comfortable with yourself.
Really, and relaxing. And once you get comfortable by yourself, you'll be much happier just in any situation, whether it's something you're doing on your own or with friends or whatever. So I guess that's my advice to get out of the seasonal depression or Sunday scaries or any sort of rut you're in.
No, I agree. So I do like girl core things, like girlhood things, and stuff like that.
Embrace your feminine energy.
I love it. Okay, well, that's this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and we're gonna try and be more consistent.
We're gonna try to plan things a little bit better.
A little better. So thanks for bearing with us in the first couple of episodes, but hope to see you again soon.